You're tuned in to Streamer Conversations, the podcast spotlighting Twitch streaming pioneers who are reshaping entertainment one broadcast at a time. I'm Nerd Titan, your host and fellow streamer, bringing you authentic conversations with the innovative creators behind your favorite content. Our mission is simple: share the compelling stories behind the streams. We'll explore pivotal moments, personal challenges, and transformative experiences that happen when people share their passions with global audiences. Before we continue, let me tell you about our sponsor, AdvancedGG. Hey, if you're serious about gaming, you know staying sharp is everything. That's where AdvancedGG comes into play. Energy and focus supplements made for gamers who want to keep their edge. With their new sour black cherry flavor, it's incredible. Bold, with just the right amount of tartness. Whether you're grinding rank or pulling an all-night stream, this stuff helps you stay locked in. And the best part? You can grab 10% off your order with code NERDTitanTV10. No minimum, just straight up savings. Hit up AdvancedGG and fuel your game the right way.
Yeah, for sure.
Hi, this is Nerd Titan with Streamer Conversations. We're sitting down with James today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, thanks, Nerd. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's warm here, so.
Yeah, we're coming into the summer months here too.
Yeah.
Obviously, not as warm here as it would be for you guys.
I'm in Texas. It's warm all the time.
Yeah. Like we have, I think, 18 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
So that'd probably be like cold for you.
Yeah. I live in Alaska, like the Arctic Circle. So cold doesn't affect me like it does most people because I'm used to it. Like I lived in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest for like 20 years. But yeah, we're going to hop right into it. We're going to talk about your origins in your early days of streaming. You've been streaming for about 5 years, right? Correct?
Yeah. So
you have a lot. There's a lot of input.
Yeah. I've initially started on YouTube actually for a year, just doing like let's play sort of style of content, just to sort of get my feet wet and sort of get me used to talking about video games. So I did that for a year, and then I started streaming on Twitch. So streaming was always in the plans for me. My first stream was like a test stream of just Breath of the Wild. So yeah, I officially started streaming on my birthday 5 years ago with a playthrough Bloodborne.
Such a good game, though. What initially drew you to streaming?
So I was actually watching a few of Let's Play style videos on YouTube, and then obviously scrolling through Twitch, and that sort of content creation sort of idea had popped into my head. It was just about how do I go about doing this? How do I? So I did a little bit of research. I was like, invest in a capture card and all the other things that you need, and then I basically just hit record basically.
Oh yeah. Take us back to your first stream. What game were you playing and how did you feel about hitting that go live button?
So yeah, my first game was Bloodborne. Good start.
Yeah.
I wanted to do because I do love the Souls type genre, and hitting live, I was obviously a little bit nervous. But I think those nerves eventually just pattered away once I started dying a lot.
Did you meet your expectations on that first stream, or did it just completely surprise you? Like your enjoyment of it? Was it like did you have a big spike of viewers for that first stream, which is rare to be honest? Like I think my first stream.
No. I think my first stream I didn't really have anybody come in, but it's just the fact of I feel for most streamers, and I say this too to people, hitting that first go live button is always the scariest part.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, it was like, I actually can do this, and I set about just continuing on and basically building up from that initial first stream,
So, do you have any creators that inspired you when you're first starting out?
So there's a streamer, actually, that I still watch. His name is Matako. He's a partner on Twitch, and he's also from my part of the world.
Oh, yeah.
So he does a lot of speedruns. He speedruns now. I think he's done speedruns of every single main numbered Final Fantasy game. including the MMOs.
That is awesome.
So like he's I even though I haven't met him and one day want to meet him, I consider him a very, very good friend, and he was always like interactive with me whenever I came into stream. Like, we talked about Northern Ireland, which is where I'm from, and and also because he was streaming at that time, he was grinding a personal best in Final Fantasy IX, which is one of my favorite games of all time. So it was like double connection of person that was from my neck of the woods and playing one of my favorite games.
Yeah, absolutely. And how was that? Have you tried to network with him? Are you a member of his community still, or?
Oh yeah. I've talked to him a few times just over messages and stuff like that, but most of the time I'm in his chat still. Whenever he's doing like practice runs or for his he does a lot of major events like for charity and things like that. So anytime he does that, I try to help out in that sort of way,
Yeah. So so speaking of your voice, because I know, like myself, it took me a long time to find my streaming voice. Like, I'm an introvert by all accounts. I'm an introvert. I don't leave my house often unless it's absolutely necessary. But when I'm on stream, it's my chance to come out of my shell and like be a little like better. You know what I mean? Did you struggle finding your voice, or are you still discovering your voice?
I think I am. I think I'm generally okay because, like you, I sort of struggle with social interactions. Like, see if I were to meet you for the first time, I'd be like, scary new person.
Same,
but...
absolutely same. Like, so what's funny about my story is that I used to be a sound engineer for a big venue that held like 60,000 people, and I always tell people I can act like an introvert very well, but inside I'm screaming. Like,
yeah, so like for me it was just like, but once I get to know you, I'm usually relatively fine. It's just that sort of process of meeting new people, and that definitely has challenged me in that way of like, because as Twitch is interactive, to be like, to reaching out to people, even like whenever I was like, so I think I saw your thing on Threads about the podcast itself, and I was like, you know what, yeah, let's give this a go. I've done podcasts before. I can do it again. Let's give it a shot. And I applied, and here we are.
Absolutely. So, like, I don't care about viewership. I don't care about follower accounts. I really don't. Like, those are great analytics to baseline yourself. So, like, but what I really want to know are people's stories, because I think as a streamer, I think if you look at all the successful ones, like if you look at like some of the major successful streamers, like Code Carnage, Pirate Software, like those big people, they're telling a story.
Yeah,
and they're always telling something. They're telling a story, and they're providing some sort of value to it. So like for me, I've lived an adventurous life. I've lived in Alaska, Seattle. I've been to Ireland. I've been to England.
Yeah, I've done my share of traveling too.
Yeah, so like I always tell little stories, and so when I created this podcast, I told myself, I want to hear people that have been streaming for a while and their story. And so like that was most important to me. So apply. Like if you're listening to this and you want to apply, go right ahead. Like I'm interviewing about everybody, but I stop interviewing people the second week of June, and I'm taking a break. Because that's
fair enough.
That's 28 episodes. Like that's 28 people that have applied, which is 28 weeks, which is like 6 months. So it's going to run its course. Beyond low viewership, what specific challenges weren't you prepared for when you started streaming?
I mean, there was a few times where I was hit with like bots, things like that. Like, can I ask you a question? Those type of things.
Yeah.
You know the type. You know what I'm talking about.
I actually have merch that's coming out that has like, I screenshotted the Twitch thing, and it says first time chatter, and I made up a username. It says, "Can I ask you a question?" And it has like a cringe face, because like I mess with those people now. I say, "You just did." That's your
Yeah.
question. You just asked me a question. Like,
Uh,
but like,
luckily now, since I basically incorporated Seribot, they've
yeah,
become a lot less.
they absolutely do. Seribot is. I've been using Seribot since he launched it. I'm mutuals with Seri. So like, I'm a huge supporter of Seribot.
Yeah, once that came up, once I saw it, I was like, I need to get this. That's helped so much. Like,
It does.
so,
Like, if you care about your mods and you care about them, even if you don't have a lot of mods that aren't there, and I know we all start with like no mods and we don't have a lot of times we may have like one mod or they're maybe lurking. Seribot makes sure that my mods deal with real issues.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
Like just like yourself, I have a few mods, but most of them can't make it for X, Y, or Z reasons. So it's like that just extra peace of mind.
were there any technical aspects you struggled with or community dynamics that caught you off guard?
Yeah. So I've been struggling a wee bit with mic issues actually. Lately, not. I invested this in a new mic pretty recently, so
What'd you
hopefully
get?
that's. It's just a basic desktop mic for now, but
Okay.
it's just like something that is actually seems to be working better than what I had before. Because I have a very what I would call very compared to others that I've seen, but I don't like comparing. But anyway, a very basic setup. Like I have literally I stream off a laptop and I have a mic and I have a webcam.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And
So
I have, it looks, when you look at my setup, I have 4 monitors. It looks impressive, but I have a dual PC setup. So I stream off of a laptop technically. The laptop I started streaming off with. I'm only now about to upgrade it because I'm actually hitting some like, it only has a 1080 in it, but since it's a dual PC, I don't need it to do much. I just need it to like do the things I want it to do.
I like for things like that, like I wouldn't know a lot of things about that sort of like the specs of a computer. Like that's the sort of thing I definitely need to keep on top of. And sometimes even for me it is a little hard to be like, do you see all these numbers and letters and you're just like it just goes right over the top of your head.
Yeah, I came from tech, so there's still things that go over my head in tech. So like I came from tech and I came from as an audio engineer, like so a lot of my setup is stuff I just had in a box. My microphone was I had it in a box. Like like I probably will never upgrade my mic. I have a Rode pod mic. So like I'll probably never update it ever because it does work well.
Yeah, as long as it works, I think if something stops working for whatever reason, then that's where you sort of need to think, yeah, hold on, need to look up this. But so as a tech person, does the class are you an advocate of the whole turn it off and turn it back on again and that fixes it?
To be honest, it does.
I love it.
Yeah, to be honest, it actually does fix it. There's so many times. The only time it doesn't fix it is when you're talking about a virus. If you know you got a virus on your computer, try to quarantine it before you reboot because but it is what it is when it comes to that. So, can you pinpoint the moment when streaming shifted from just a hobby to something more significant in your life?
I still class it as a hobby, but for me, definitely whenever I hit affiliate, was whenever I was having a lot of thoughts and ideas on how to, improve things. This year I've hit my 5th year of streaming on Twitch, and I also turned 40 years old. So, my approach has been like, I sort of look at what other streamers are doing, kind of take ideas a little bit from them, and sort of twist it to my content and what I want. A good example of that was anytime I got a raid, was I always sort of went through the types of games I played. So I was like, I do RPGs, driving games, fighting games, Metroid. There's a whole list of games I like to play because I've been. So now I shortened it to RPG focused variety streamer, which was stolen off. I stole, but I borrowed off another streamer. and that just makes it a little bit more snappier and a bit more better.
Yeah, I'm a survival crafter. I spent years bouncing between games, doing the variety streaming. Now I'm a survival craft. I'm actually now a once
Mm.
human streamer, 100% once human streamer, because I fall in love with the game. Absolutely.
Fair
So
enough.
finding your voice is kind of one of those that, like, I don't say it's a struggle. I just say that it took me a minute to find it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we watched your first stream and then today's stream back to back, what would be the most dramatic differences we'd notice beyond just equipment?
I I think just the I haven't really changed much in the way of like how I present a stream. I've usually tried to keep it the same. Obviously, the advancements, you would notice and things like that. But most of the time, it's just been I try to be on stream as I would be in real life, which is kind of hard sometimes. But you know, um, but so yeah, it was sort of a just sort of a natural progression as of whenever you go through streams to sort of better yourself. I've still struggled sometimes with talking and dead space and sometimes like that, but we'll get there.
Yeah. One of my biggest tips that I heard, and I heard it from a Minecraft streamer, um, and it was this. I go, if you're struggling to talk on Twitch, imagine you're recording a YouTube video and not streaming. You would fill the air with monologue. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That just like, and that's what I did about a year in. I just started thinking, I'm like, okay, if I was recording a YouTube video, I would have all this dialogue planned. So, like a lot of times, at first I was just like looking things up, like let's talk about movie trailers, let's talk about comic books, let's talk about like whatever, because I'm a nerd. So it's like I've been my streams are all about being nerdy or like. So a lot of times, like when it comes to like me now, once human, I stream with my community. So I do community help for once human. It's a survival craft MMO. And so I'll be like, hey, whatever you guys need. And we just kind of talk. That's my cheat, is that I have people in my VC. So it's always conversation is always happening. But that
Mm.
also can be a little dangerous too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we all have those streaming technical nightmare stories. What's your most catastrophic technical failure that happened live? How did you handle it in the moment? And what did you learn from that experience?
Yeah, this happened before my current setup. So like, I had a really bad setup that always just crashed the computer, like just seemingly random moments, and I was just like, I looked up everything online about how to fix this. Nothing was really working, and then I was like, no, I think I need to upgrade. Like whenever it happened live, I was just like, it just really bummed me out. It's just like, and I was like, right, okay, how do I fix this? And that's the process of upgrading and figuring things out happened.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yesterday
obviously,
I had to cancel yesterday's stream because I went live and for the first hour I was fine, which is my just chatting time. Because I do an hour of just chatting, then gameplay, and then we end with like a little wrap up. For the first hour was fine, but when I got into Once Human, got everybody in the VC and got all that stuff, my bit rate went to 0.
mm,
But I had internet. My Discord was still going. I did speed checks. I just went to the point. I go, it must be a Twitch thing. I'm not going to fight it. See you guys next week because Wednesdays are my last stream of the week. So
yeah,
I just didn't fight it. I just was like, love you guys. We'll see you next week
yeah,
because I'm not going to let it
yeah,
affect my mental health. Trying to fight with it and
yeah,
fight with
that's
it and fight with it. And in results, I produce a bad quality stream because for me, like quality is one of my most important. Like for me, like I don't ever tell people like focus on quality, but for me, I want my quality to be up there. Um,
mm,
but yeah, streaming requires mastery of so many different skills simultaneously. Which skill
yeah,
took you the longest to develop competence in?
mm, yeah, I like that. Um,
Still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a technical or performance aspect that you're still working on improving?
I mean, for me, it's just about knowledge more than anything of just like the latest upgrades or like whatever is coming out. To be aware of that. Like obviously, the big thing. This was maybe about a year or two ago. Was Windows 10 to Windows 11.
I still haven't upgraded.
Yeah, and I was like, a lot of people were like, maybe you shouldn't, and I was like, I know, but it's just that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm from tech. I like to wait and see. Like a lot of times, it's I want software to develop for it before I upgrade. So like,
yeah,
it's a wait and see for me. But I still haven't upgraded.
yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm
I
just
feel
stubborn.
A lot of people, from what I've read, a lot of people still haven't. So
Yeah. So every streamer approaches community building differently. What's your underlying philosophy on cultivating your community?
so I have a community. I consider them all my friends, because over the past few years they've helped me out so much just through some things that have happened, and they always like are there. They tease me a lot. uh, they make me laugh and smile, and like I do want to eventually just want to hold like a community party of some sort someday. That'll be a blast, I think.
Yeah, I do one for my birthday every year. Every May 30th, because my birthday's on the 20th. Every May 30th, I do a big streamer. I get all the streamers together that I know. And we play Jackbox Party or we play Goose Goose Duck. But I try to cram as many streamers as you can because those I think Jackbox, you can have like 16 people. And Goose Goose Duck, I think, is 16 as well. So I just try to jam pack as many streamers as I can and make it a little like a party celebrating the year. As well. So yeah, everyone will get there. Like I think that if you're being genuine and you have a built good community philosophy, people will get there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Communities can be powerful forces. Can you share a specific moment where your community came together in a way that generally moved you or showed you the impact of what you're building?
Uh, yeah, I mean, over the past few years, I've suffered a little bit with a major loss in the family, in my personal family, in my personal circumstances, and they were just there straight away whenever I made the announcement of this has happened. And they were just there sending condolences and the good vibes and all that they needed to do. And like for that small thing like that, I was like, after that, I was like, you guys, what am I actually going to do with you? But I thanked them, and that's all you can do is just thank them and just appreciate that they're there. Because they didn't have to take 5 minutes of their time, especially if some of them were busy, but they did.
Oh
And
yeah,
I think that's the most important thing.
yeah, that is very moving, and I think we don't hear thank yous. We don't hear like one of the biggest things I always say is we're always someone's favorite streamer, but we don't always hear it. There's always I always tell people you always have that one person that's lurking. You may not see them, they may not say anything, but they're there every stream. Like, and so like it's so nice to get that positive feedback, to hear it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so Twitch can feel supportive and could also have this intensely competitive feeling. How do you navigate building genuine friendships with other creators while knowing like we're all streamers and we're all super busy with content creation? Do you have any tips or tricks that you've developed over the years?
Yeah, so I think for me, it's just like, even if you just hang out in their chat, say hi,
Yeah.
like, like, especially for charity events, I try to, like, for my friends, I always try to, like, share on the social medias their charity events.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, even something as small as that, which it's free to do, takes a few seconds to share, and it might help boost them. And I don't even do it for anything like reciprocal. I just do it because
Yeah,
it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, make it like I always tell people networking isn't complex. Networking isn't some mystery secret sauce. It's just making friends with no expectation of return. So
Yeah,
like
exactly.
so for
Like
example,
there's so
yeah,
many things you could do for free.
yeah.
So many
Like
things.
so like there's a streamer named Squamantha. He lives in the Pacific Northwest. I just popped into her stream one day. She was playing Destiny 2. At the time, I was a huge Destiny 2 player. I was like, okay, I'm looking for someone that I can maybe raid. I didn't say anything like that. I was just like, hey, how are you? Oh, you're playing Crucible. You're getting wins. It was all just casual conversation. And then I raided her like a week later. But I was in her stream like every day, just hyping her up or like just hanging out, vibing. 'Cause she was listening to music, talking about music and all this other stuff. And then I raided her and she's like, oh my God, I didn't even know you were a streamer. Like, and then she's rated me a few times now. She's a partner. Like, and it's so I have modded for, and I'm best friends with 3 partner streamers. And how I became friends with them wasn't through streaming. It wasn't through me being a streamer. It was me being a friend or me being part of their community. And I think that's where people get confused. Is like, I'll network you with you. What do I get out of this? But that's not the way you need to think about it. Just like I found out on Threads and a little bit on Blue Sky, that people just want to be part of the conversation.
For sure.
Yeah, like so, like that's why I post so much on Threads. If you've seen how much I post.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because if it wasn't getting feedback, I wouldn't post. Like, creating content can always consume our entire life. What specific boundaries have you established between your streaming persona and your personal identity? Has maintaining these boundaries gotten easier or harder as you've grown?
So the first decision I ever made, even like when I was like thinking of doing content creation, the first decision I made was, when am I going to take breaks? So breaks are like a major part of it. So I take a break every 3 months, every quarter or so, give or take. And that's like a week, usually a week, with no YouTube, no Twitch, nothing. And then I have 2 weeks off for Christmas. I always try and stretch and hydrate every ad break. Things along that nature. I also have a week off or a day off during the week. It's usually a Sunday, where I just switch off a little bit for myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the same way. So I have twin daughters. They're 6. They're in kindergarten. So all my breaks that I take are whatever breaks that they get from school. So that's how I circle. So like this summer, I'm probably going to stream once a month, do a big community stream once a month until August. But but also like my goal has never been, Twitch has never been the end goal. YouTube has been the end goal. So I'm always doing things that are YouTube centric, where like I do the podcast, I make Once Human build videos. I have a new anime first reactions video coming out, because I watch a lot of anime, but I don't watch a lot of anime. You know what I mean? I watch the stuff that gets told to me. So I'm going to do a video that's about 20 minutes long. That's just me reacting to some of the most weird anime that I can find that I've not seen.
Oh boy.
And so like, one of my mods is sending me anime. She has like 50 movies that she wants me to watch. So I was like, that's perfect. That's 50 weeks. That's a year.
Yeah.
That's a year of content that I can do. Like, perfect. And so everything I do kind of is YouTube centric, where I work very hard Thursday through Sunday, and Twitch is the party for me. Like it's the end of my week, kind of, because my work week starts Thursday. So like Monday, Tuesday, now I've been taking Mondays off, but like Tuesday, Wednesday is the party for me. But yeah, I think boundaries are so important, setting them. I think that like, even if they're a small boundary, set them. And if someone violates them in your community, there's consequences.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
So speaking of that, let's talk about streaming and mental health. Have there been times when streaming negatively impacted your mental well-being in ways your audience never saw?
Yeah, so I used to do speed runs for a bit, and the problem with that was I'm actually ever so slightly competitive in nature. So I was blaming myself for like RNG mistakes or little tiny mistakes. And it happened during a run where my brain, and I literally heard my brain saying, "You should stop this." And the Saturday after, I announced to my community, speedruns are stopping, end of sentence, this is why, XYZ. And a few people were like, "Whoa, that's a big change." And I'm like, yeah, but like, if my brain, which sometimes you know your own brain, if you feel it saying something to you, you probably should listen.
You should. And burnout is so like you hear it all the time from people, especially new creators, that they see these bigger creators like Code Carnage and Pirate Software, and they're streaming like 5 days a week and they're streaming 12 hours a day, but they have like they have thousands of people in their community, which gives them the luxury of being able to do that. But when we're starting out, we have to dial that down.
Sure.
Because you will get burnt out, and because there's other things that they have. They have editors. They have a team behind them. We don't as creators. We have ourselves, maybe a partner that's helping us, root us on, or mods that are helping us, but there's no one else that is doing our content creation, like our clips and our evergreen content, stuff like that. Have you experienced burnout? And what were some of the early warning signs that you saw now in retrospect?
I mean, for me, it was definitely, there was a time where I was feeling a little burned out, whatever, because there was a time where I was looking at the numbers, and that sort of, because I had sort of plateaued a little bit, I was feeling a bit down about that. And so once I realized, hold on, there's a way I can maybe not do this and not look at the numbers. Because you know the way you get a stream summary after stream, I basically stopped that because it showed the numbers and things like that. And it's like, yeah, ever since then, I've just felt better to not worry too much about that sort of thing.
I'm the same way. I don't look at my analytics except for the first of the month, because there's a thing that I found out is that, like, so if you look at the 4 weeks in a month, I could have a bad Monday, like a bad Tuesday or whatever. Then the next Tuesday I could have double the views. Yeah. And then the next Tuesday I can have regular views. And so it all kind of averages out. So when you're looking at it in a big 30-day or 31-day chunk, you're able to look what was going on that Monday, what was going on that day, what was it? Was it the holidays? Was it summertime? Was it spring break? Because all these factors, all these seasonal factors, factor audience viewership. Like, also like work schedules. Like, I'm a daytime streamer, like, or my daytime, like this. I stream about this time. So like, I start streaming for you. I don't know if it's the same time zone, so forgive my ignorance. So I stream at 5:30 London time because I've learned.
I'm the same time zone as London.
Yeah, so like now I promote it because I found out that a lot of my audience are British or Irish or Scottish, or I have a few that are in South Africa. I don't know how they came about, but like it happened.
Fair enough. I've had people come in from New Zealand, and I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, when I stream at night, when I do my monthly night stream, it's a whole bunch of New Zealand, a bunch of Australians come in because it's their daytime, and like it's amazing. Like I think that like when you look at analytics correctly and not let it affect you, and that takes time, because I think Twitch makes a mistake. When you open your account and you're pushing for affiliate, they have these must have 50 followers, must stream for 8 hours, must have 3 average viewers. And then, but like that creates this weird mindset going, oh, I haven't hit it today, I haven't hit it tomorrow, I haven't hit it next week. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
that definitely happened for me whenever I was on the cusp of hitting affiliate.
Yeah.
I was basically like maybe over bulging on the socials of like, hey, I'm so close.
Yeah.
Anyone out there wants to help, you know?
I was a 2020 streamer, and going into pandemic, when I got serious during the pandemic, I found something out. So at the time, I had a roommate and a partner, and I said, "Hey, pull me up on your phone." And we were all playing together. We were all playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I was like, "Pull me up on your phone. Pull me up on your computer." That's two people. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like say some stuff in chat, like every now and then, just to refresh that view. That's two people. So if we get one, that's three. Like, and it like
Yeah.
I just told a friend this the other day, and I said, "Hey, do this, like roommate, spouse, like whatever. Pull yourself up on a phone or a tablet, because most of the time when you're starting out, you have one monitor, or like it's your TV if you're capture carding on a laptop. Like pull up chat up on your phone. That counts as a viewer. Like,
Yeah.
it's not hard to hit the 3 average viewers. Um, so you talked about self-care and you talked about how important it was. Has that approach of self-care, like going back to your first stream, looking back to your last stream, has that evolved over time? And do you prioritize it more now than you did back then?
I feel I do, because I used to actually stream for 6 hours, and I usually stream about 4. Although I have been experimenting with 5 hours recently to see how I feel with that. But I feel the most comfortable currently with 4 hours streaming. So yeah, if I were to go back and be like, maybe cut back, because I was, a little bit tired after the 6 hours. I've done like maybe one 12-hour stream, and that's like my absolute max. Like I have like that set in stone. Like I'd never do a 24-hour stream, for example.
Yeah,
like 12 hours would be my absolute max.
I have done one 25-hour stream for Extra Life, and I will never ever do it again. It was so brutal.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Brutal. I needed like a week to recover. It was for charity, so like it was great. Like the sacrifice for charity, like fine, but it was so brutal. But yeah, I don't ever suggest it unless you like have that support structure underneath you and that foundation. What are some of the practices or boundaries that you've become non-negotiable protecting your well-being as a creator?
So for me, it's actually like banning people from my chat. If you are banned, you're gone. There's no like there's no unban requests or anything like that. I turned those off. You're gone. Once you're gone from me, you're gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I turned mine into content. I when I ban somebody, so the biggest tip that you always hear is make sure in Twitch you just make it so they can't view your channel. I want them to view my channel. Because what I do is when I ban them, Mix It Up automatically sends a message, a whisper to them, telling them to submit it on ban request, because I turned into TikToks and YouTube Shorts. It's free content. And I use it as a teaching moment though, because like I don't have a self promo rule. I just in mind, so like, which is different. Most people say no self promo. I don't, because I make Twitch content. You know what I mean, on YouTube. Like, why would I tell you you're coming to my channel from YouTube, most likely, like into my Twitch, where you probably watched a video about Mix It Up Bot or Twitch or OBS. Like, as long as you don't come in saying, "Hey, I'm going live now. Everyone come follow me."
I was actually going to bring that up, because that's actually one of the questions about later is basically that's hit the streamer conversation later is about self promo, and I'm in the same mind of like, you can come in, you spam emotes, do whatever you want to do, but don't be like, "Hey, I'm going live in like 10 minutes," or "Hey, I'm going to go off and watch X person."
Yeah. Oh my God, that is so one of my biggest. Like, I had to ask a partner streamer, my friend Tyrex. I said, "Hey, is this cringe? Does this rub you the wrong way?" Because like I said, someone came in and says, "Oh, X is live." I don't even remember who it was. I didn't ban him. I just like, "Bye, have a great day." But like, I was like, because she's a big streamer, she's got like hundreds of people. I was like, does it make you go ick? And she goes, "Absolutely." And I was like, okay, it's not just me, because I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of things rub me the wrong way. Like,
oh yeah.
So like as long as you don't do those two things, I don't care. If you want to come in and say my stream was amazing or it wasn't, you know what I mean? If you come in and you're like, "Oh my God, my stream didn't meet my expectations. What do I do?" I'll give you the advice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll totally do that. So if you could travel back in time to the day before your first stream, what specific advice would you give yourself?
For me, basically, it'd be like, don't worry about it. Just hit that go live button. Turn the view count off.
Oh yeah. I don't even have my 5 years of doing this. I still don't have mine on.
No, I don't either.
The only time I'm like, so I took 9 months off last year and from Twitch, and I came back and I didn't know how many people were there. Chat was flowing. I go to raid because I raid every stream, and I was like, oh my god, I had that many people. like it shocks me.
Yeah.
Like, and you could hear me like when I'm doing my exit stuff, telling people to follow socials and stuff like that. The clip is like, oh my god, why are you all here? Like. What behaviors or habits did you fall into that you wish you would have avoided in the start?
I've mentioned this before, but definitely was just like looking at the numbers and trying to increase those, whether it be through, actually connecting with people or just being like, oh, the follow for follow people, which I kind of fell into for a wee bit, but no more of that stuff.
I like messing with them. I really like messing with them. Like, my mods think I'm crazy when I get sad because I get summertime seasonal depression because it gets so hot. When I get sad, I mess with them.
I like it.
What was one of the fundamental aspects of being a Twitch streamer that most viewers or aspiring creators completely misunderstand? And how does this misunderstanding affect your day-to-day experiences?
Well, I think for me, whenever it was getting used to a face cam, because I do not like my picture being taken at all. Like, if you were to say to me, "Oh, can I take a picture of you?" I'm like, "Oh, do you have to?" So I set it as a sub goal. I was like, if this gets hit, if this sub goal gets hit, I'll have cam for 3 months. And the sub goal got hit. After the first month, I was like, I'm actually used to this.
Yeah, but I think something has to be said for VTubers and PNG tubers. Like,
yeah,
they have. So I just saw a stat that there's 5 million watched hours for VTubers.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, and like, I love how it's becoming the norm. Like, not quite the norm, but like. And I think it was like 60% more engagement versus no cam. Like, my camera was broken when I came back to streaming. I have an Elgato Facecam Pro, and the Type-C cord got pinched in my wire management, and my camera was all green. It had like a looked like I was looking through lime jello. And so I couldn't stream with that. And I'm a Facecam streamer, so I did a PNG tuber. I just took a selfie of myself, and I did the old South Park Terrence and Phillip where your head hinges off for a PNG tuber. So every time I spoke, it moved my head, like opened up like South Park. And now it's a redeem for 100,000 channel points. I'll bring it back because everyone loved it. Like, I have a friend, he's a huge PNG tuber, Kohawk Hezron. His episode airs next week. But yeah, he loves it. He keeps on like going, when are you going to bring it back? It was so funny. Like,
yeah, like something I thought about was like, if there's a day where I don't feel like cam, which hasn't happened yet, but if I don't feel like cam, I would like to do like a PNG tuber thing.
Yeah, I got my inspiration from, there's a woman who streams, and it's just a picture of herself that flashes when she talks. And I think that I was like, oh, how can I make that more engaging? I made myself talk because I can't afford a VTuber because those things are.
Yeah, they're hell of expensive. They are
expensive. I think Iron Mouse paid 10 grand for hers. It has full articulation. Like, I was like, I'm not doing that at all. So it was just crazy. But I think like Facecam is a huge one. But like, if someone's out there struggling with, I don't really want to show my face, you can make yourself a cartoon character, and it's better than no cam. Like,
because it's funny because like at the start I was like, oh, I don't need a cam to be like, because like for me it was sort of, I want to focus on the game, but people were like, I want to see you and your reactions to the game, you know?
Absolutely. I think Twitch, so like when I started streaming in 2020, and even before that, like 2017, when I started really getting involved in Twitch, like as a viewer, I think back then you could just play a game and you could be successful. I think as we've evolved, and Twitch is always evolving because that's how the website works. I think it's more community driven now. And when you're community driven, you have to engage that community to get engagement back. And a face cam does do that, or a VTuber or a PNG tuber, like something representing who you are. So yeah, like I can totally, there's days I don't want to be on cam. Totally. Like, like absolutely at all. But I think I just sucker through it. Like I go wash my face, I do my hair, and I just kind of get on stream.
Yeah, for sure.
Beyond just continuing your current content, what specific projects or directions are you excited to explore? Is there a dream collaboration or a content format that you haven't pursued?
So currently what I've been doing is I've been playing games from like certain game series, like a certain game series, like the first game, and then like for example, let's say Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
I would do like Metal Gear Solid 1, then 2, then I like go down the list. So I've really enjoyed that. I also have what I call bad ideas, which are just weird, dumb challenge playthroughs I thought of during my gaming years. Example of that was I did a Final Fantasy VI random characters, so I spun a wheel of names, and no espers, which means you couldn't really use magic at all.
Yeah.
It didn't go very well. It went badly, but it was an idea. That's the whole point.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a redeem going on right now for me to play Final Fantasy IX. Because,
oh, you should.
Yeah,
it's my one of my favorite games.
It is one of my favorite games. Hot take, I think it's better than 7.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
I think it's better than 7. I kind of
seven for me I feel is overrated. That's my hot take.
I think it's good. It's just I think it's like Nike's versus something else. You know what I mean? Like everyone knows Final Fantasy 7, but like 9, like I just loved it. I loved the story. The mechanic was a little different. I never really played 10 either, so that's my next one. I'm going to play 10 because I never really. Because by the time
it's also really good.
When 10 came out, I was in my sophomore year of college, so I wasn't doing video games. I was doing college. I was doing college.
Yeah, further.
So we have one as a channel point redeem. If we get to like 100,000, I'll play it on stream, but type thing, or I'll do a let's play out of it. Thinking long term, what legacy do you hope to leave in the streaming space, and how would you like both your content and your impact on the community to be remembered?
For me, it was always just about giving back to video games because I stream. I wanted to start streaming basically as a way to give back because I've been playing video games since I was like 16 and I'm 40 now. Video games have helped me through a lot of dark places. A lot. And you know, you see all these news stories about video games causing other things, but I want to actually put it out there that the video games can be used as a positive force.
Absolutely. Like my kid both are 6 and they still play Minecraft. They're playing Minecraft. Will they play Roblox? If I have my way, they won't. They'll play Minecraft. But they also play Power World. And they love it. And they played the Stray. They love Stray. They didn't know what they were doing because they couldn't read at the time. But like they just ran around. Like,
I mean, while they're giving that you run around as a cat, pressing a button to meow.
Yeah. That's what they do. And then I got them Little Kitty Big City. It's at the little more. It doesn't have a sad story. So when they do get it old enough, they're reading now, so they do play a little bit. But yeah, I think video games can be a positive force. I think when people hear about like the news saying video games are doing whatever, I think that we also have to remember like people need to go to therapy.
True.
Like someone posted something a month ago. It was like a broken controller and a broken TV. and blah blah blah, blah all this like stuff, and it was like, how do I stop doing this? I responded on Threads, go to therapy. Like,
Yeah, like I've had like moments where I've been like, or frustrated in a game, but like as somebody who plays Dark Souls,
yeah,
you know, and those types of games, I'm like, I've kind of, it's kind of, what's the word? It's just the feeling of like disappointment or failure is just sort of numbed now because I've failed so many times in those games.
yeah. I can't do Dark Souls. The only Souls like I can do was Jedi Fallen Order, and I know it's not a Soulsborne. I know it's just a Souls like.
Yeah.
So that's the only one. I always joke with people when they're like, "Oh, you should play Dark Souls. You should play Bloodborne." And I always tell people, I can't afford a therapist more than every 2 weeks. I don't need a game. A test. Let me just enjoy my survival crafts, peaceful sometimes, building stuff.
The appeal of it for me is overcoming the big bosses that punch you into the ground 20 times and then finally getting that last hit and you're like, yes.
I just watched somebody do an upside down controller challenge for Dark Souls.
Yeah, there's tons of those types of challenges out there.
I thought it was hilarious. Like, and she was like not one shot, but like defeating everybody. And I was like, how? I can't even do that with my controller right side. Like, how are you doing it upside?
Oh no.
For listeners connected with your story today, where can they best find and support your content? Are there any specific stream segments, community events you especially want new viewers to experience? Just let you know, all your socials will be listed in the description of this podcast, but you can go ahead and give them.
Yeah, so you can catch me on Twitch at wjamesmci, YouTube, wjamesmci. I also have a Twitch VOD channel because of that new Twitch role of the getting the VODs in. So now they're all on a separate channel just called wjamesmci VODs. And I'm pretty much wjamesmci everywhere except for Facebook. I've kept that personal. In terms of things coming up, I'm doing currently a Pokemon Legends Arceus Nuzlocke as part of a Nuzlocke Unload challenge. It's the first time I've ever done a Nuzlocke of any kind in a Pokemon game.
I love watching Nuzlocks. I don't play the Pokemon games anymore. I think the last one I played was Yellow. And that just kind of ages me a little. Like, I turned 45 in a few weeks. So the last Pokemon,
nice.
Other than Pokemon Go, the last Pokemon game I played was Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah. And I'm also playing, I usually don't play 2 games at a time. I usually focus on 1 game at a time, but because of the way the Nuzlocke event is happening only towards June, I'm sort of splitting my games. But the other days I'm playing the hot new RPG at the moment, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, and it's good. It's really good. So
beautiful. There are moments in that game. People listening, if you've not seen this game, I struggle to tell cinematic from gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, it is so good. I just installed it.
There's a bit where you first go into the world map, and I was like, am I in a cutscene? And then I moved, and I was like, oh my, I'm not in a cutscene. What?
Yeah, I saw my friend Nova Storm play it, and oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Streamer Conversations. If this resonated with you, please share it with a friend who might need to hear it. Remember, every creator's path is unique and valuable. Want to tell your streaming story on our show? The application link is in the description. I'm your host, Nerd Titan, and I'll catch you next time as we continue exploring the real stories behind the stream.